On behalf of the Harvard Club of India, I welcome everyone to this Fireside Chat with Seema Kumari. I am Sanjay Kumar, President of the Harvard Club of India, and I am also the India Country Director of the Lakshmi Mittal and Family South Asia Institute. Welcome, Seema, and thanks for your time and agreeing to share your journey with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's an absolute pleasure, Seema. So I will start, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to join us today, and they are very keen on listening to your journey. So both, like members of Harvard Club of India and also outside the club. So we have kept it as a public event, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to join. So friends, while the journey in the days of modern communication and transport is no longer onerous, the psychological journey is an immense one. Seema is one such young girl who has proved that both physical and psychological journeys are possible through grit and determination. Being a daughter of laborers in a village named Dahu in Jharkhand, she must have gone through her own set of challenges and must have worked very hard to reach to this stage when even superstar like Priyanka Chopra tweeted after knowing about Seema's journey and admission at Harvard. She tweeted, and I quote, "Educate a girl and she can change the world. Such an inspiring achievement. Bravo, Seema. I can't wait to see what you do next." So, Seema, how does it feel? A global star like Priyanka Chopra tweeting about a new and a very young star from a very small village, Dahu. How does it feel?
When I first saw it, I could not believe it. Like, she posted about me, but then like slowly after like a few hours, like people started messaging me, and my principal Rose also kind of like told me about it. And I was like so excited and so happy that somebody like her kind of praised me. And that kind of has helped me and YUWA connect to other people who are willing to help YUWA and me on my journey to Harvard. So I will thank all of them.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, what a journey, fantastic. So, let's start, with your childhood, with your family and village and your friends. So, आप अगर अपने family के बारे में सबसे पहले बताएं, क्योंकि I'm sure, they must have worked very hard to raise their kids like you. And तो आप अपने family से शुरुआत करें, फिर अपने childhood के कुछ memories अगर share करना चाहें एंड अपने विलेज के बारे में. यस प्लीज गो अहेड.
मेरे एक भैया है और मम्मी पापा, और हम लोग जॉइंट फैमिली में रहते हैं. तो बड़ी माँ, चाचा, चाची, बड़े पापा, तो हम लोग टोटल 19 पीपल है. एक बहुत बड़ा फैमिली. कभी कभी बहुत गुस्सा आता है एक दूसरे पे, पर कभी कभी बहुत मजा भी आता है. और ये जो डहू गांव है वो रांची से लगभग 25 किलोमीटर दूर में है. और यहाँ जैसे कि लड़की सब ज्यादा से ज्यादातर मम्मी पापा उन लोगों को उतना फ्रीडम, उतना जैसे कि चांसेस नहीं देते हैं, उनको उतना प्रेज नहीं करते हैं, बर्डन जैसा वो लोग को लगता है. और उसके वजह से बहुत जल्दी शादी कर दिया जाता है ज्यादा से ज्यादा लोगों का. और जब मैं छोटी थी तो मुझे भी लगता था कि मेरा भी बहुत जल्दी शादी हो जाएगा और फिर मुझे भी वैसे ही जिंदगी जीना पड़ेगा जैसे और औरतों सबको जीना पड़ता है. और डोमेस्टिक वायलेंस भी एक बहुत बड़ा पार्ट है हमारी सोसाइटी में. पर युवा 2009 में वो हुटुप गांव है जो मेरे गांव से लगभग 3-4 किलोमीटर दूर है. तो वहाँ शुरू हुआ. फ्रांस गैसलर जो एक अमेरिकन है वो आए और वो लड़कियों को पूछे कि वो क्या खेलना चाहते हैं या क्या करना चाहते हैं. तो लड़कियां सब बताई कि वो लोग फुटबॉल खेलना चाहती हैं. और वैसे ही से फिर एक मेरे गांव से ही और एक गांव है सामने है सातू, वहां फिर वो लोग एक्सटेंड किए. तो फिर एक दिन था जब मैं और मेरे चाचा हम लोग घास काटने जा रहे थे, क्योंकि मैं बकरी सब चराती थी और गाय सब का बहुत ख्याल रखती थी और मुझे वो बहुत अच्छा लगता था। तो फिर हम जब जा रहे थे हम लोग साइकिल में, तो हम देखे कि वो लोग मतलब खेल रही थी फुटबॉल, और फुटबॉल मतलब पहले देखे थे वो सबको खेलते हुए, पर कभी खुद से खेले नहीं थे, छुए नहीं थे। तो मुझे भी लगा कि मतलब मैं भी ज्वाइन करना चाहती हूँ।
और ये
और
किस साल की बात होगी सीमा, लाइक विच
ये
ईयर?
2012 में।
आप कितने साल की थी उस समय?
9 साल की।
राइट, ओके, प्लीज गो अहेड। या
हाँ, तो फिर हम लोग जब घास काटे और फिर हम लोग जब वापस आए, तो फिर हम अपनी जो मेरी एक कज़न थी वो पहले जाती थी वहाँ, तो हम उसको पूछे कि क्या हम भी जॉइन कर सकते हैं? और वो बोले कि हाँ, वो लोग नए ये मतलब चाहते हैं कि जितना लड़कियाँ आ सके वो लोग आए। तो फिर हम भी जाना शुरू किए और हमको भी बहुत मज़ा आता था, तो हम भी एक रेगुलर प्लेयर बन गए। फिर शूज़ मिला कुछ दिनों के बाद में, सॉक्स जो लोग मतलब हम कभी पहने नहीं थे, और फिर वहीं से फिर 2013 में पहली बार यहाँ की लड़कियां सब स्पेन गई खेलने के लिए डोमेस्टिक कप। तो उस टाइम मुझे भी लगा कि काश मतलब मैं भी कभी जा पाऊं बाहर दूसरे कंट्री और देखूं कि मतलब उधर कैसा है। पर जैसे कि मैं उतना मतलब फुटबॉल में अच्छी नहीं थी, तो मुझे नहीं लगता था कि मतलब फुटबॉल से कभी कोई अपॉर्चुनिटी मिलेगा। फिर वो लोग 2014 में फिर से वो लोग यूएसए कप खेले, तो फिर लग रहा था कि और अपॉर्चुनिटीज मिलेगा, होपफुली कुछ मतलब नॉन फुटबॉल वाला मिले ताकि मेरा भी कहीं हो जाए। पर फिर
Seema,
2015।
Seema, Seema, I will stop you here. That
हाँ,
let's go back to your family and your childhood. तो
ओके।
युवा के बारे में हम लोग फिर आएंगे, अभी हम फुटबॉल पे अभी आएंगे, वो हमारा अलग सेक्शन है। आई विल कम देयर। बट आप थोड़ा अपने चाइल्डहुड मेमोरीज के बारे में शेयर करो कि क्या क्या आप लोग करते थे गांव में, या फिर how was it like what are some of the memories you have from your childhood?
यस।
And
बट
also फैमिली का सपोर्ट पढ़ाने के लिए, या फिर आपको कैसे इंकरेजमेंट मिला आगे जाने के लिए, या
yeah. When I was a child, like my parents, they have raised my brother and me very well. They never discriminated, which a lot of parents do here. They took both of us to like fairs and stuff like that. And when I was a child, I usually had to do a lot of house chores as other girls. I had to make cow dung patties and like rear cattle and take care of goats and bring water from the hand pump, and then also like wash dishes as like other girls. But like I didn't realize that like my parents had given me a lot of freedom, and they did like let me do what I wanted to do. But usually I played a lot with other kids, like near my house where there is a temple. We played hide and seek, and there are like a lot of games that we play in the village. And then I went to the village school, which is like really near, like a few steps from my house. I really liked studying, but like at that school there were like some teachers, but there were many times when there would be like no teacher in the class, and like children, they would just do like whatever they wanted to do. So I didn't really like learn much in the village school. um yeah.
and it was until which grade you went to the village school?
Eighth.
Eighth. Okay.
Yeah,
After
seventh.
eighth, yeah. Okay, good. So, and tell us about your friends, like.
Yeah, my friends, they also, like when I was younger, they also did similar things like me. But like after I moved to UA school, and they continued their education like in the like high school at another government school. And like those friends who I used to study in the village school, like a lot of them are married now. One of them has a kid. Because like girls here, they get married really young. And also like because they like a lot of parents, they don't believe that girls are worth something, and they don't let study them for a very long time, like go to college or like study even after that. Which is a really big challenge, which I hope will be solved really soon. As UI is doing.
And what are some of your friends from your childhood? Like, what do you think that after they heard about you, and as you said that you saw your cousins going to the UI school, are some of your friends from your village, like got inspired by you or have taken a different path or are they,
Uh-huh.
or are they into the same social practice like early marriage and things like that?
Yeah, so when like the first time when like girls went abroad, like a lot of like girls started coming to the practices, and some of my friends who are married now were them, but like later on their parents, because like wearing shorts was a very new thing and a lot of parents did not agree with it. My parents, like, they were fine with it because when I was a child I used to wear my brother's clothes, so they were like, okay, it's fine, because she used to do it when she was younger. But like other parents, they were like not fine with it. They were like, you should not be doing it, you just are doing something that is not yours, which is only for boys. And that is why they had to stop coming. And after they stopped coming, they like, there were many who, because like the other person had stopped going to the practices, that I will also do, or like their parents kind of like talk to their parents. And that was one of the things why a lot of girls kind of like quitted going to the practices. And most of them, like, who did quit are married by, yeah, there are like a few like who are left, but like most of them are married.
So, a very interesting question coming up from our one of our attendees, Devina Singh. Did you get peer pressure like this is not good for girls?
Yeah, there were like some who were like, you should not go, because like now we will play like in the bagicha, like the garden that we have in the village. But at the same time, like I was like I really followed my cousin Shada, and she was like really good at the football. Like she went in the first trips to Spain and USA, and I was like, like even I am not good at it, because I like her, I will go to the practices. And that is why I continued to be at YUWA. And I thought that even I'm not good at so good at football, like there will be something that I will like, that will help me go abroad and like learn or like experience something that I was looking forward to.
Great. So, now let's move from your struggle to your turning point. What was your turning point in your life?
Yeah, I think when I started learning a lot about my own society and like child marriage and things like domestic violence or like gender discrimination that should not happen. And because I didn't really like question that when I was younger, because like my parents, like they are like really nice parents, like they have given me and my brother like mostly everything that we wanted, and have raised us to be respectful and good human being, and even help when you don't have a lot of money. And because like my parents, they have been raising a lot of like my cousins as well, and that's how I learned, like even I will not have money, or like I would not have a lot of resources, but if I work hard, or like if I think and use my brain, like there will be things that I will find to work what I want to work with.
Great. So tell us, we all, by now we know that you have played football, you have been playing football. How much football played a role in your like success? And
uh,
did you see some qualities of yours changing post football or playing football by playing
yeah,
football?
I think like when I really loved football was 2015, 16 and 17, and that was the time when I was like really improving a lot and making a lot of friends, and kind of like getting along with a lot of like people. And that's when I thought, like this can be something like I can actually play. And like when I the first tournament and the last one kind of I played was Dynasty Cup in 2016. Like I had never been on a plane, neither in a train, and then like I was going and I couldn't believe that I was like one of the people like who was a part of that team. And the first time like I flew on a plane was to Mumbai, and like we met Ranbir Kapoor, like he helped us make a few videos, and that was like so shocking. Like we met him, and he was like so nice. And that's kind of like one of the times when I felt like, like even things that I never thought of are happening, then the things that I really want in life would happen if I work towards that. And
Wow.
then yeah, the first time I went to Spain, like seeing the people, like the culture was so different, the food, and we were like, there were many things that we just like criticized or like laughed about, but there were things like slowly we learned about that.
How long you stayed in Spain?
For 2 weeks.
For 2 weeks. So I would really like to understand a little more that did you see some qualities of yours changing post football, playing the game or playing the game itself? Did you feel any change in yourself?
I think I was becoming more confident, and I was like really scared of the ball at the beginning, but like later on I was kind of like, it's okay, like even if it hits me, it's fine. And I think I was working in a team a lot, so like I was becoming a responsible person, and I was also the vice captain of the team, so kind of like handling a few responsibilities and kind of like listening to other teammates, and kind of like understanding them, and developing a better friendship.
Wonderful. So I have a follow-up, question or a suggestion from you that many parents believe in India that sports is a waste of time. What do you think? What's your message to those parents?
uh like I like physically I am not that strong, and my parents, they were like shocked that I play football. And the first time when I did like play the tournament, they were like, are you like really going to play? They were like not believing me. But then when we were playing there, like there was like I don't know, I forgot the word, but they could watch us. And then my like when I came back, my mother was like, you really played, like you were really good, we loved watching you. And like that's when like they kind of like started getting to know me as a player as well. But it's not a waste of time. It has kept me healthy. And like when you kind of like learn a lot, that you can't really like know what you have learned, but there are many things. And I think by learning, that's how I became a football coach as well in 2015, and have been coaching and have been managing a few teams. And I think like when I learned, and the qualities that I saw changing, like a responsible person, or becoming more confident, and kind of like trying new things, exploring. And that's what I kind of like try to implement that on my players as well, to spend some informal time as well.
Sure. So, what is your message to some of these parents who really believe that young kids should not play, like sports?
I think they should let their kids do whatever they want. Like that's what my parents have let me do. Like they never forced me that you shouldn't be playing, or you should be playing this sport or that sport and not that one, or you should be studying this subject or not that one. And especially in India, I have like heard that a lot of parents force their kids to like study engineering or like medicine and stuff like that, which they shouldn't be doing. Like they should be letting them discover themselves, because it's a really big issue, I think, in India.
Yes, yes. And we would like to know who is your most favorite football player.
I don't know, because like I didn't really like watch a lot of football, but I think I really like Cristiano Ronaldo.
Okay, okay. That's a good name. We all like him. So, tell us more about some of your YUWA friends. You must have made a lot of friends at YUWA.
Mhm.
What they are up to, what they are doing currently.
Yeah,
And tell us a bit about YUWA,
yeah,
what really changed your life and others' life. Yeah, please go ahead.
yeah. You are like when we started, like from 2013, we were having workshops where we learned about like child marriage, domestic violence, or like personal hygiene, menstruation. And like menstruation was a really big part, because like most girls, they don't know about it. And when like they start to get periods, they are like so scared, and they are uncomfortable talking to their parents or their sisters. And I was like so lucky I learned so early, like before my period started, because it's a really big issue. And also because a lot of girls, they don't know how to take care of it. And it had changed like so many girls' lives like Yuva, and my friends like one of them is at Ashoka University, and like one will be going to Ashoka this year, and then one will be going to Priya University in Telangana or Andhra Pradesh, I think. And then
And do you guys
actually,
stay in touch? Yeah, sure. Sorry. Yeah, please go ahead.
like I had like only 5 classmates, so like when I started, like I like a lot of my friends are like outside of your school, so some are like still studying.
Mhm.
One of them is like working like at UA, and others are still at your school.
Okay, very good. And there is one question related to football. It's very interesting, so I'll take this. If you find someone more good player than you, how you accept yourselves and themselves? Have you told yourself that is okay? They had better background than me. This is a question by Richa Raman.
Okay. Yeah, I think I like when I would meet somebody like that, I think I like if I had to play with that person, I actually tell them that I am not so good at it, and I will really appreciate if you don't hit the ball very hard.
Okay. Okay, so now let's move to your international exposure. People are really keen to like I think a lot of students are also here and they would like to know. So let's start with this. I got a question from our ex-president Shobna, who also went to Harvard College. She's your super senior, and she wants to know more about your 1 year experience studying in grade 11th in the US. You went to Washington State. So how
Mhm.
was it, and how do you imagine college life in America if you have thought about it?
I went to the US once in 2018 to Washington University, and it was a 1 week course about leadership. And I kind of like got a brief college experience, but when I first met like other kids, I was like so scared because like it was the first time I also traveled alone, and I was like am I really going to make make it, or like I was like so nervous and I was so scared. I was like, how am I going to make friends, or how am I going to communicate with them? And also because like I started learning English at your school, and like I was having like a few tuition classes before in 2014, so it wasn't that good, and like I'm still improving. But I was just like so freaked out, and I didn't know what to do, but like slowly. And then there was one day I actually like started crying, like I am in this place and I don't know like how really to approach those people. But then like I kind of like took some time and thought, and like they don't know my background, and just like I should just ask them like, hi, how are you, what is your name, like just general questions. And maybe that is how it will start, and that's what I did, and that is how I kind of like got to know some other participants. But like yeah, when I went to Washington State, and I was in a high school, I was in 11th grade, and I kind of like met a lot of other exchange students from other countries. So it was like, there were people, and also from like the students from India, there were 40 of us. So like there were people to like share what we were going through, and like, who would understand us the best, because they were also in the same phase of life. um but that I felt like, education is like really fun over there. Like you do like a lot of activities. It's
Right.
not just like you reading books, you watch a lot of videos, you even like go out for field trips, and like you change classes, so you kind of like get to see your friends in between and like talk to them for a little while. And I really like they had like a lot of options for like different classes. I really liked choir, which like I never sang, and I didn't like singing because my voice is really bad. But I really enjoyed that being, and like making friends who have like similar interests. And also the wide range of sports that they have. I really liked tennis, but because of the pandemic, I like when school closed, we couldn't continue that.
So So did you feel excluded from social circles initially? Or
No, like at the beginning, I struggled to make friends. Like I didn't know like who really to approach, because there can be friends who you may not match with. But like slowly, like the person who sat next to me, I was like, hi, how are you? And that's how like all started, and that's how I made friends. Like, but like for like a month I had like very limited, just like a few people, but then later on, like the friendship circle like grew bigger and bigger.
very good. So did you like how did you deal with did you have to deal with any cultural shock when you went there?
um a lot. Like the food was quite like, I hadn't like been to like a grocery shop before, and like when I went there, like like you have like so many things and everything is packed, and like canned food and frozen food, like those were like my main shocks. Like it's so far beyond like the technology, like for making like cookies, or like I don't know, like they're like whatever you want to make, like everything is like so easy. You have like recipes, you have like fonts, or like anything that you can use to make anything that you want. And here, because I have always seen my mom cook like whatever, like pretty much the same thing every day, the same spices, and like the same recipes will be repeated over and over again. So like those things were really new. And the way the lifestyle, like you
Mhm.
don't like here, like in my village, like right now anyone can come, and pretty much the whole village, and like also people of the other villages. But
Right.
like there, you kind of like live in your own house, you may even not know like who else is in the neighborhood. And that was kind of like a little bit weird for me, because like here you would know like 200, 300, 400 people, but like there it's not that way. That
Yeah, and for you from a family of 19 members to one just living alone there, I think it
was
must be a challenge.
Yeah. And also like having a pet as a family member, like here in India, I think which needs to be improved is like to treat dogs and like cats and like other animals like well. But like that's really good that like in the Western, like they really like see pets as their family members, and they take care of them.
Hmm.
But here, like when I grew up, I mostly saw like people like throwing rocks or like anything with to dogs or like cats. So it was quite shocking. And that kind of like changed, like one of my cousins, she really likes dogs, and she like she has also grown up like that. But like when she saw me like touching the dog and like my other family members, she also like wanted to have a dog. And then she was making like a little house with bricks for them when it was cold. So that was like pretty nice impact of them seeing how people treat other like pets in other parts of the world.
Sure. And how did you feel after coming back? What were some of the
Um,
challenges?
when I came back, I knew it's going to be very challenging for me, but I didn't know like how to react to things, or like when people commented. there were there were many people who really supported, and who really wished like I would study and like do something that like nobody has ever done in the village. But there were a few people which like who were like, yeah, I like a lot of people here, like when you touch their feet, they kind of like say that okay, like, oh god, the electricity.
That's the kind of shock you must have gotten back after coming back from the US.
Yeah. I don't know, like, does this work?
Yeah, yeah.
Let me
This
check.
really works. So please
Yes.
go ahead.
Yeah, let me try something. Okay. um so like after having spent a year where you have running water, you have a bathroom like near your door, and like not
No
having
electricity cut.
yeah, that was one of the things.
Yes.
They're not having to worry about food. But like when I came here, my father had lost his job. He works at a local steady factory nearby, and my family has been selling rice beer, which is called haria, for like many years. And when I was younger, I didn't mind helping my mother make it, or like even give to other people who came to drink. But when I came, like I had grown up, and like people like who came to drink, they just like stared at me. And like that really, like it was a feeling that I couldn't really like express much. But it was like, if I would have a rock, I would just like throw at them. Like it was like really bad. And it was just so uncomfortable. And even for my cousins, and like when I shared that with my mother, she wasn't like really able to understand me, like how I was feeling. But then I have been very close to a few of my teachers, so I shared that with them, and they were like, you know just stay calm. And they asked me to take help from the child helpline number, which I did, and I tried to stop it. But then there was something, and we couldn't really work towards that. But other things that I had to adapt was, like getting water from the well, or getting drinking water from the hand pump, or like taking a bath like outside, like in a place where it's just like surrounded by three walls. And it was really difficult. Like I usually asked um one of my cousins to be there. And there was one day when, and it was like the worst thing that happened to me while I have been back. I asked her to, I forgot my towel, so I asked her to get that. And then I was just like standing in, and then there was one of the alcoholics who, like, it's like not that tall, the wall. So like anyone can like really see me, like who are like pretty like old, like adults. And he just came in, and it was like he was coming to pee. And I was like so shocked, and I was like this is something that I am not going to accept. And then I told that, I shared that with my mother. And I didn't do anything to him, because I feel like, if I am going to take any actions, or if I am going to say anything, they'll kind of like try to hurt my cousins, which I cannot take the risk. But like then I thought it's okay, like things like this I will have to deal with it. But a lot of the days it was just like so much of crying, and trying to be so patient, and kind of like see a brighter future ahead of me. Also because one of my uncles, he is an alcoholic, and they are like next to my room. And like when my aunt would lock him, like he would just make like so much noise, like slamming the doors. And I was just like so like shocked to be in a situation which I had never imagined before. Um, and I didn't know like what I really should be doing, or like there is like there isn't another option for me. And I was like what should I be doing? Like there may be some options, but like I didn't know like what I, or like who I should approach about it, because my parents, they haven't like gone out, so they don't know this is wrong, or like I should be making a safer place for my girls. And I just thought, like after a year I would be leaving. But my cousins, they have to stay here, like because they, like one of them is in 7th grade, like two are in 6th grade, others are in 5th, 4th. So they're like really young, and like after like a few years they would have to go through what I did. And I just thought, what I would do is to teach them. So every day I try to teach them a few things. And like some normal things, like to be thankful for someone who did something for you. Because I think one of the things that we are not taught in my village is to be grateful or to appreciate people. And with other challenges, I just like kind of like gave them some advices. If like this happens, like you scream or you ask for help and things like that. But I just hope I would be able
No,
to do
no, no,
something.
that's great. I think that is what you can do. And there is one suggestion or point coming from one of our attendees that you are a role model for many girls in your village in Jharkhand. What's your one suggestion to government of Jharkhand for adolescent girls program?
Uh, I think one thing would be like when I started studying about like political science or civics, there were like many things I learned that child marriage is something that should not happen and which is in the constitution. But there are like so many things that are only in the constitution of India which are not practiced here. Like polygamy is one of them, dowry. But like why don't they really like? I think what they should be doing is oh my god, the
See,
electricity.
talking about change and the electricity is there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Good.
Is
Yeah, go ahead.
I think there must be. I think I watched like Jodha Akbar, and then that's where I saw like Akbar, like Jodha asked him to like go and really like see how the normal people live, and that's when he figured out that there were like so many things that he never knew about. And like them coming as normal people and kind of like seeing the challenges that we face, because like if they do have like a lot of power that like to change
Sure.
and bring change,
Mhm.
which I think like the most important things now would be like that would be through education. And like the government schools are like terrible, like you don't even like have a proper toilet or like even a classroom which they should look forward to bring some changes. And even like the teachers, it's crazy to see right now also like teachers just like gossiping or doing like other things when they should be teaching. And I hope like people like, or even like if there are government officials, so like if they watch this video, like they like at least like try to do something. Because like if the main thing is they don't like try or they don't think that it would change, and that's the mentality that has to change. Because when we will have hope, that's when like there will be some change.
Certainly, I completely agree with you, Seema, that education is the key. Education is the fundamental thing. If we work around education, I think, making people capable and giving them
Mhm.
opportunity through education is something,
Yeah.
you are a, like live example. Even I come from the same background, not like you, but even I went to a government school and then also I made it to Harvard. So, it is all because of education. We all
Yeah.
can do wonderful things in life and
Mhm.
and in the
Yeah,
society.
and like recently, like 2 years ago, like in a way, I kind of like thought, like we are like our population is like so big, but like not seeing the population as a curse and seeing that as a possibility is like a very big thing. Like if let's say like all the people would be educated, like our lives would improve like so much, and there would be like very less challenges. Like there would be some like still, but like normal people, they just like face so many that like the government officials and like other people, they are just like unaware of that.
Yeah, yeah. So, okay, we will come back to that. I'm sure there are many students listening to us, and they would be more interested in knowing about your application. When did you decide to apply in colleges in the US, and when
uh,
did it start?
Still, like when I was in the exchange year, it was like in November when I was like, that's when like the first graduates of YUWA were of 2020. And like I was kind of like in very close in touch with them and like asking them like, how are you doing, like did you get into any? And they were like, it's really difficult and we are not sure about it. And that's when I was like so worried about like my future, and I'm kind of like a future freak. But like I started researching so many colleges that I would be eligible to apply to. And because like I didn't like study in English medium for like since I was young, so my English wasn't that good as well. And then I may had to take the IELTS or TOEFL, the English proficiency test, and like may have to also take the SAT or ACT. But there were some test optional colleges which I was looking for. Like there were some like from a long time. I think like Bates Colby, Bates Colby, and there were some more. And then like because I attended the Young Leaders Institute at Washington University in St. Louis, I kind of like was getting updates from them. And then I think it was in February when I received that they are going test optional. So that's when I was like, I have one more college to my list. And then when I came back, I researched more, and then I think it was in June when I saw like a lot of colleges like went test optional. And I was like, like why not, let's try like these two. And I didn't ever think that I would ever get into Harvard. But and some of my teachers did tell me that, these are colleges that are like really hard to get in, like the top students get into them, and who have, who have done like so many things, like and I didn't really like think, like I just thought I would just try and we'll see. And I thought even if I get rejected from like all of them, it's fine. So the first college I applied was Ashoka University in the first round, and I did get into Ashoka with a full scholarship. And then I think I read one of the comments, like the colleges that I applied to. I applied to 22 colleges, one in India, Ashoka University, one in Singapore, which is Yale and US, and then 20 in the US. And
From which ones you got offer?
I got into Ashoka, Middlebury College, and Trinity Hartford.
Right. And you got offer from Harvard, of course.
Yeah.
So when did you get to know, and how did you find
So from
Jackson?
Ashoka, I got to know, I think in January, and then like in mid-March, I heard from Trinity College, and then like in late March, I heard from Middlebury College, and then on 7th of April in the morning at 4:30, I heard back from Harvard. Like that night, oh my God, I didn't like really sleep that night. I was just like waiting for 4:30, like when that time would come. And one of my friends was near me. I had called her, and then she came to my house at 4:30. And that day I was hearing from Harvard, Columbia, Princeton, and University of Pennsylvania. And I checked UPenn first, and then I was like, okay, let's go to Harvard now. And the only one I was like, if I would ever get in, like it had to be Harvard, because like of the interview. So like my admissions officer, she had talked to my principal for like an hour or so about YUWA and me. And then like I didn't have like an interview from an alumni, I directly had the interview from her, so it was like very direct. And that day I was like a little scared, but she was like super nice. Like she made me feel like she was a friend whom I knew for a long time. And then like at the last, like I was having the interview in this room, and then my kind of like my grandmother enters, and I was like, I don't know like what I should do. And because like my grandmother, she doesn't even know Hindi, but I told her, like say namaste, and she was like namaste. And then I was like, okay, now she but then like she's just like standing and looking at the screen, and I was like, oh my God, like are you going to leave or not? But then I was like, okay, I have to talk to her now and like not care about my grandmother. And like it was like supposed to last for like about 30 minutes, but it went like over an hour, which was super good for both of us. We got to know each other.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and then later on they asked for more recommendations. So they asked for one from my math teacher, one from my English teacher from the US, and then one from my host mother. So they kind of like wanted to know well before they make the final decision, which was good, because if they had not, maybe I would have not gotten. So yeah, when I checked in the morning, and when I saw the word congratulations, I was like just jumping like here. I was like, oh my God, I was like so shocked. And I could just say like, I'm going to Harvard. And then like I just like, and and then I called a few of my teachers who were in the US, and then and like my mother, she was there, but like she never asked like what happened. And oh god. And when I told them that I got into Harvard, like, you know, the excitement and the happiness that I saw from other people, I never saw that from my mother and my parents, like, because they don't know Harvard, like they don't know what, you know, it is, or like where it is. Like still, like when I ask them the college I am going to, they don't know it, but I hope they would be able to remember it before I graduate. I think I'll be happy.
Wonderful. You know, so one question from our attendees, that you must have applied, you said that you applied to 20 US colleges and Singapore, India. So they want to know that how did you manage your like funding to apply to these colleges?
Yeah. So I didn't know much about the Common App, but like later on I started to like really get used to the applications, the essays, and the additional questions that they have. And one of my English teachers, and like Rose, of course, like there are people who are from the US who like really know about it. And actually my grandmother is here. Ayo.
नमस्ते
Namaste.
नीचे है, नीचे है। हाँ कि नमस्ते बोलिए।
नमस्ते
कैसे हैं आप?
कैसन है?
वैसे ही आए
बहुत बढ़िया।
हाँ,
सीमा से अभी हम लोग बात कर रहे हैं, बहुत सारे लोग सीमा को सुन रहे हैं और सब बहुत सारा प्यार भेज रहे हैं, और सब लोग सीमा को के जो भी सक्सेस मिला है और जिस रास्ते पे वो चल रही है, सब लोग उससे बहुत प्रेरित हैं, इंस्पायर्ड हैं और खुश हैं। आप बता दो सीमा उनको।
एक है लाइव होने की जो सबसे हम बात कर लाइक है, इस सब पे बहुत खुश थी कि हमार कहानी मने जाने लायक थे। हाँ या
सो क्यूट, शी इज सो क्यूट।
हाँ कह दिलियन तो हम दादी है के इके
Saying namaste, Granny. Okay, so where were we? So I think it was we were talking about like, yeah, how did you manage your funding to apply?
Yeah, I think like if you I think there must be like an income level thing. I actually did not know much about, but my application fee for all colleges were waived. So I didn't have to pay for those, and that was managed by my principal and my teacher. So I don't know how that really worked. And with the CSS profile, yeah, there were some colleges who gave me the passcode, but there were some that I did not get. And for those, I took a loan from YUWA, saying that when I go to college from like student work, or when I start earning, I would pay. And that's how I managed this.
Certainly. So, you know, someone wants to know what are your like, are you somehow worried about your life at Harvard, or what challenges do you see?
Like I think like a typical Harvard student is like really smart, like, you know, is like really intelligent, and like with writing, and there are many things that I still have to learn.
But
Or
you are both smart and intelligent, I believe.
but like there are many things that I have to learn, like different kinds of like essays writing and stuff like that. But the community that I feel like is really welcoming. Like even the students who would be going this year from India, like they are like really welcoming, and I was able to talk to a few of them. And then the ones who are like seniors and the ones you connected, they're like really welcoming, and you know, like whatever questions I have, they answer them, and they explain me that, you know, there are like different, like, and a lot of sources to gather, and people who help you when you struggle. And I have talked to a lot of my teachers, and they say that, you know, like it's hard for like a lot of kids, and you would not be alone in that. So I am just like, you know, there will be a lot of people, and I am really like not much worried about it, especially because like there are like people who I know a little bit. So like even like if I struggle or like have anything, like
Yeah,
I'll
sure. Yeah, I can tell you that half of the Harvard community there in Cambridge, by now they know that you are coming to campus. So, and I reached out to our like vice provost of international affairs, Mark Elliott, and I told him, I shared this news with him, and he wrote back saying he was very happy, and I am sure he would love to meet you, and he was very happy, and he was more happy to know that the admission office at Harvard, they do a wonderful job. That is why a person like you like got full scholarship and is able to go there. So I'm sure you won't face any trouble, and you will be taken care of. So tell us, who is your inspiration? Like anyone who inspires?
Yeah, I think like my parents are like some people who kind of like I see every day, because they work really hard and they don't like think of like they would be able to help people then when they have like a lot of money, but they have been raising my cousins and like taking care of them, which they are not taken care by their parents, or even like just being kind to other people or being respectful and like working hard. They are like some of those people. But also like Sundar Pichai, when I heard his story, I was like very inspired by his story, and the way he has made like so many people proud of him. And like, so I think there are like millions of people who are inspired by him. Also like Rose and France, because they came from USA to here, and to a village where they don't know the community and they don't really know the society, how it works and how they should cope up with that. But they have done a really good job in kind of like making it a safe place for girls. And even like when they are like super busy, but when I have to share anything with them, they are like always there for me. So those things really inspire me. And like obviously like Priyanka Chopra, when I heard her story and like read her a lot more information about her like in a few years ago, and like how she also has been helping with education and gender equality, that really inspires me. And I think one person would be like Bill Gates as well, because like the way he has been trying to help the world with Gates Foundation, and just learn more about different countries by traveling to like normal people. That really makes me happy that there are people like them.
Wonderful, and I'm sure that you would meet them in the US. Like if you
I
make,
hope so.
yeah, if you make an attempt, I'm sure they would love to meet you. And yeah, so I wish you all the best for, like you should definitely meet them because they are your inspiration. So Seema, like now come the last part of our conversation. What's next? After all this limelight and success, people would be wanting, like people would be watching you very keenly. And even Priyanka
Yeah, and
Chopra
it's
tweeted about it, saying so that they would all like to know what you are doing. So have you thought about it?
yes, I actually have applied for this called Global Student Prize. And like if I really like get into that, I think I will have like some finance to really start my organization for women. Because the way I have like seen women at my house, like not my mother but my aunts, being part of domestic violence and just not having the rights to do what they want to. And that really makes me sad. When I like came from the US, I had a different perspective at like things that I didn't look so differently before. And that's what I think, like as soon as I can, I would like to start my organization. And that may be a few years later, that may be next year, I
Sure,
don't know
sure,
like how
sure.
soon that would be. But with that, I would like to write books about women and books for children. And I did like start writing one when I was in my exchange year, so it's been like a year and a half. And I hope that book comes out like really soon.
And what is that book about? It is about
It's
you.
about my journey, about like a lot about Yuwa.
Wonderful, wonderful. And I'm sure that people would love to read about your journey. So all the best, I'm sure you will get it published very soon. And one interesting question which I missed out, like from one of the attendees, that being a student, how did you manage, during the pandemic, all throughout, like attending virtual classes, virtual interviews, a lot
Yeah,
of distraction at home? How did you manage all this?
I was like, it was a really difficult time for me, and I feel like it was like the hardest year for me, because like coming back, not having like enough food, like, or the kind of food that I wanted. So like in the morning, like like one of my classes, economics, would start at like 7 a.m. So I would try to go to the agricultural field to get some like sag. Um, and then I when I came, sometimes I cooked while attending classes, or like I had to be really like specific about my time. I usually had to get up really early, like 5 or like 4:30, and then I did like some of my essays, and then I attended classes, and then I had calls with my teachers to make edits. And because I was applying to like a lot of colleges, I had like a lot of essays, like a lot of additionals.
Sure.
And like some of them were like similar questions, but there were many which were like really different, and had to write a new essay. And then sometimes that essay did not make sense to that particular question, so I had to write another one. But I think I really understood that that was the time for me to work really hard and be really like a good manager, like a good time manager. And I tried that, and it worked out. But in the evening, I was kind of like free with another friend. We went for a walk, and then we kind of like just spend the time in the nature, like near a river. And that kind of like helped us like be calm and like be like less stressed. But like that was like the time that I thought would be like really important for me to be working hard. But then like after I graduated in March, like I have like literally done anything. I have just been working on my book, and then like watching quite a few movies with my cousins. Like they really like South Indian movies, like dubbed in Hindi. So, and they are like, you should watch this one. And then they just like come to my room, and like we don't have a TV, so like my laptop really helped me, like being connected with
Okay, your laptop is
that,
the TV at house.
that entertainment. Yeah, and just
Okay,
like kind of like trying to get to know my cousins. And yeah, it's been quite a
sure,
crazy year, and I
sure.
think for all of us.
Yeah. What is that one factor that keeps you motivated throughout in your journey of life?
Right now I just feel like I have a very bright future which I should be working hard for. And the trust and love that my parents have given me is like it cannot be compared with anything. And that's what I feel like, if I am independent and like I want to take care of my family, my brother, the way they have helped me come here. Like my brother, like he's not one of them who is like so dominating. He has helped me like make my lunch, or like even pack it or bring my breakfast. Like he's a really loving brother, and I would love to like take care of my family, or like travel with them, help them discover what they want, and like travel to all different countries and see how they react to it, or the time when they would be first in an aeroplane. Like I really want to experience those with them.
Wonderful. And what will you miss about your village when you go to Boston?
I think celebrating a lot of festivals. Like when I was in the US last year, that was like one of the things that I really miss. Like I love being in my village. Like there are like so many festivals. Like there would be like at least one like in a month, or like a few in a month. And because like the temple, like the village temple, is just like near our house. Like it's always like something is happening. It's not like the US, where you are in a home and you you go through your plan of the day. It's like so like random, like people would be coming and going, and like marriages would be having like any time, and that's kind of like fun to watch, because like Indian marriage is like one of those things that really excite me, and I really love attending weddings here.
Wonderful. So you are going to miss your village a lot, I believe, and especially the
Yeah, there are
festivals
many
and
things.
the marriage
There are
ceremony.
some things I think I am really proud to be going away, like the way like the men are here, or like
Yeah, of course, of
yeah.
course, of course. Do you want to give any message to the youth of your age or in general?
I think, I mean, I have always received advices and messages, and now like I am the
Yeah,
person.
because you are the role model now. You have to, you have to give messages now. And
Um,
it's up to you.
like something that I have learned recently, like a year or two ago, is to like really appreciate our family, because like they are with us like no matter what. Like when we go through the worst or the best, like they are always there for us. And when we have challenges, or like something comes up and we are like, oh, this is not going to work, and that's how I felt. But like when we try, and there is the time when you like really get in, and the excitement that you see in your own self is is something that's that I remember like forever, like those times. And when like we all have different challenges, and we should not feel like like why do I have more, or like compare ourselves to others, because our life, like everyone's life, is so unique, and it cannot be compared with anyone else in this world. So like we all should be like very proud of ourselves, and I am proud of myself, and you should be proud of yourself too, wherever you are. And I think just having hope that whatever you want will happen, but you need to have patience for that.
So the patience is key, and whatever you want to do, you must pursue, and you will get succeed.
Yeah, and like in our society, it is a lot like like so many people will come and they will try to make your life decisions, and that is like
Yeah,
one of that
yeah, it happens.
I have like pretty much never let anyone decide that for me. Like even like when people say like negative things about you, it kind of like hurts, and it does to everyone. But at the same time, it okay. I heard it. It hurt me. Now that's done. Because like when I wanted my cousins to be at YUWA school, and my aunts were like, no, like when I started attending YUWA school, I kind of like did not do much housework, because I was busy with school, coaching soccer, leading workshops, my own practices. So my schedule was like really tight, and I like my aunts and all, they were like, like she's not learning how to cook, or like a lot of house chores that she should be learning at this stage. And they thought like like she is going to turn our kids into her, like her, and we don't want that. But at the same time, I explained the life that they will have if they would be educated to my cousins. And like even like after one of my cousins, Sapna, she got her admission, like her mother was like just talking like she's not doing the good thing, and she's trying to do this, like nobody will marry her. Also because like I was like really short, like in 2015, like I grew up later on, and they were like she will be at the house forever, like things like that. But I never let those comments or things distract me, because the same people who talked like that in the previous years are like so proud of me right now. So things will just change. And I don't know, I think we should just try to be surrounded by positive people, and like think the positive things in everything. That's what, it's hard when you like try to implement that in your life, but it's possible, and I have tried to do that a lot, and it has really helped me being motivated and active into what I do.
Wonderful. Seema, towards the end, like I would like to read some of the comments and not the questions now. The questions are over.
Yeah, sure.
They're so interesting, comment, and people are so happy to like listen to you, and they all are saying that like someone is saying, sorry, you are such an inspiration, Seema. You have my 11th grade kids listening to you right now who are awestruck. So Satya Jha is saying so. Wonderful. And
Thank
this was the purpose, that we should have a conversation where a lot of students can learn about you. And yeah, so yeah, fantastic journey. Inspiring is an understatement. Wow. So congratulations and all the very best. Seema keeps inspiring. Nita is saying. Then Nupur J, what an inspiration you are, Seema. May you continue to power ahead always. Wonderful. And Usha Sri is saying you really proved anything is possible in life if you have the will. Very true. And yeah, Kanav Chawla, okay, it's very inspiring story, truly inspiring. Someone else is saying. Interesting, so Seema, we have we have got so many comments. I can't uh, yeah, very one interesting comment. Nirmal Kumar is saying even no electricity can stop you. That's really interesting. That's really interesting, and I totally agree with him. So yeah, wonderful. And yeah, with this note, Seema, it was pleasure talking to you, and we are there to support you in all possible way, and especially the Harvard Club of India and the Harvard community. We are there to help you, support you, guide you, or whatever way, we are always there for you. A lot of members have reached out to us, and as a president also, I can tell you that we are there for you, and wishing you all the very best. And we would we'll be in touch, and we would love to see your uh, onward journey, onward and upward journey. So, and all the best for your book, all the best for your time in Cambridge. Thank you so much for spending time with us.
Thank you so much, and also to everyone who joined this call. It's always nice for me to talk to other people, because it also gives me the confidence to interact with other people. And I just wish everyone the best, and hopefully I get to meet some of them at least, and talk to them.
Sure, sure, Seema. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Have a lovely evening. Bye bye. Bye. Bye.